Check 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to November 22nd, 2015. And today's going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to let the news run on one side, let you see some video gameplay on the other side, and then we're going to pretty much just talk about a different story that happened. Since the game Diviner Meltdown, people that are not giant e-celebs have been a bit on guard, and some are even afraid to make big statements, and some are even afraid to get popular, which is kind of strange right there. Because after the game Diviner Meltdown, there's a nice little group that came out of nowhere. Well, other folks says, that group's been actually forming right around before game Diviner Meltdown, but I didn't know about them until after that. So this group is called Gamergate Revolts, and of course they got really incentivized. They started focusing on the e-celebs. Who came first? Don't know, because I'm not getting into that boggle. You're going to have to look up the Ralph Retort. He's got a nice little couple of articles to read on it. But it all circles around the Game Diviner, and it circles around Gamergate Revolt. And quite a lot of our e-celebs, whenever they got big, there always seems to be a faction that keeps trying to form up against them or something like that. Some of them are within Gamergate, and that's getting kind of annoying. It was just nothing but drama. I guess it was folks trying to get popular, having famous arguments with some of these other guys. It's just utterly ridiculous and totally retarded. Because straight up, if you have good, decent reporting ability, you know what I mean? If you just want to give people the heads up, Gamergate's a great location to get started doing that. Particularly if you got some really good YouTube material, or YouTube if you know how to mess around and make videos and things like that. Even if you know how to blog, or even if you know how to do whatever, you just look around the hashtag and see all the news and information that funnels into that one point. And yeah, you get up on screen, you get popular. All you have to do is practice. Just report. Source your material. It's real easy, right? Anyway, I asked a little question of somebody, because I was just curious, but we're not going to use real names. We're all going to use fake names. We're going to use Kay. And of course, she's hooked up with Mr. Bako, and she's good friends with another gentleman called Rio Bravo. And within that circle, I'm part of that circle. We got a person that we're just going to call Wolf, and then we're going to call a person Anon. And that should be all the players in this one little conversation. I was kind of curious about why her Kay kept purchasing brand new video games without finishing the ones that they already own. I was like, Kay, what are you doing? And of course I didn't get any answer. So I was like, okay, well, no answer? Well, we'll go back to another one. And of course, Anon came in with a question to try and derail, and I was like, no, that wasn't my original question. That's the wrong statement to make. I want that particular question answered. And of course, Rio Bravo, he's a nice little sheepdog and all that, so he was just checking things out. He showed up, and of course, same thing goes with Wolf. Can't knock the pack animals, right? And he and I had a slight little exchange. I didn't know it was heated. He was treating it like it was heated, so I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. We solved it. We finished it. Then Kay, come to find out, she was at work. I asked her that question, so I was like, oh, I wonder why it took a few hours or whatever. But then she started chiming in. She, like, all through the chat, like, bam, 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 1 minute. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, you know what I mean? It's like 30 seconds sometimes. She was, that's what it looked like to me. I don't know what the reality of it was. Maybe she had a meal to cook, and she's like, gotta solve this problem. If there is any, then I can cook a meal. I don't want people functioning like that. I really don't. Because eventually, I just told folks, look, if y'all don't have the answers I'm looking for, I could just ask Baco. You know, he's hooked up with Kay. They gotta live together in the same building. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'll just ask him. Sure enough, me and him, he answered my question. So eventually Kay got to that answer, and then sure enough, you know, you saw favorite, retweet, reply, and I was like, yep. So sure enough, I typed in, are we cool now? And no answer. Like, I don't know. Maybe they got too much stuff to do. I don't know. Maybe they looked at it like I was being aggressive. Don't know. Don't care. But that is something that has to be addressed. Since the game divider meltdown, since gamer game revolts, all that nonsense, man. And we've seen the drama that happens. And I hate to break everybody's ego, but I'm like, look, we're not that big. Okay, we're not big enough to get that kind of wrath yet. All right, we know that there's social justice warriors and there's radfins messing around on our tag. We know that. We know they're there. We know they exist. We know all about it. We know that there's just folks that just can't stand being little nothings. They can't do something of their own. They got to tear apart somebody else's stuff. That's what they do. That's internet culture, man. That happens. So nothing happened, thankfully. Everybody I think is cool. I think that everybody's cool. Don't really know. Don't really care. Because it's all internet nonsense anyway. But this is something that has to be addressed. It's something that we all got to talk about. I'm like, look, if you're afraid to make statements or if you're afraid to get popular, that is a problem. All right, folks? When you get into this movement, you saw all the doxing. You saw all the people getting swatted. You saw all the problems that were going on. You saw the people that were getting fired, and then later on they were having to deal with folks trying to get them arrested or some crap. You saw the mess with King of Pole or whatever. He had a knife mailed to him with a nice little note that said, "Kill yourself," or some bullshit like that. You had Sergeant McCad. He got doxxed and he got sent an entire Civil War set. Good sense of humor, ha ha ha. But I mean, didn't get any strange notes or whatever. I think the only message that he got was "thrill yourself." Another person, Lizzie, I think she went through a little bit of an interesting episode there when she got doxxed. I mean, there's a lot of different things that happen. Thunderfoot's a good example of, this is what happens when you get that big. If you're that big of an issue, you'll have Laughing Witch try to get you fired and arrested both in the same day, and not even with the slightest effort, but a freaking note. Are you kidding me? And I'm trying to tell other folks, look, I understand how dangerous it is, but if you did not understand this getting involved, that these people were going to try and play for keeps and play for reals, then you may want to step away or lay low or whatever. But for the most part, it's all online. If you know for a fact that there's no way in hell that could happen with you, because you're not that big of a personality, and even if they tried, and you go something very similar to Thunderfoot, you're like, oh, my boss came up to me and he just showed me. He's like, what is this mess? Why did people do this? So thankfully, so sure enough, Thunderfoot, he's probably going to break out a lawsuit or something. He's going to take some action himself, and more power to him. But for the rest of us, guys, we don't need to be stepping on eggshells around each other, particularly if we're not gigantic personalities. If there's a fool, use your mute, use your block options on Twitter. Hello. If that, there's no need to rampantly run through or even think things are being heated for a second. Because you saw that conversation, and I put that up there, and it was just slightly broaching the subject. If we can't question each other, particularly now when we're pals, what do you think's going to happen if one or the other gets big? One or the other gets big or popular or whatever. I doubt that that's going to happen, but what do you think? If anything, yeah, Kay, I'm pretty sure she's going to get popular before I would. Same thing goes with Mr. Baco. he'd get popular before I did. As a matter of fact, I think he is popular right now. I think he is one of the big names out there. But, you know, what do you think's going to happen? You know, I mean, what do you think's going to happen? You know, if we do start getting big or whatever, are our personalities going to clash? Is there going to be drama? Maybe, probably. But it's not going to be over this. Not going to be over, I asked one person a question, they can't answer, so I go to the other one. I was like, yeah, they both live in the same building. Why not? They're like, and everybody was looking at me like, oh. Like, you had all these extra people. We had Rio Bravo, Wolf, and An, or actually Rio Bravo, he didn't say much. So between Wolf and Anon, they came in and they wanted to make, it looked to me like they were just complicated matters. So I'm like, no, I'll just call Baco. No need for any of this nonsense. We'll just call Baco and be done with it. And that's exactly what happened. But and the moral of the story is, folks, we need solidarity. We need some kind of solidarity, particularly if we're not even gigantic personalities or whatever. We need some sort of solidarity, folks. So, you know, have a little faith in your fellow man. If something comes up, yeah, you got your mute and your block options. Figure use them. There's no need for this extra episode dedicated to this issue or that. There really isn't. And I'm going to leave it at that. All right? So that's going to be a recap for today. Keep up with your ethics and journalism, all you ethics fans out there. Safeguard the free speech, every one of you. Make note of your consumer concerns. Good luck on your projects. Good luck to all. Peace out.